Cube, a psychological horror science fiction thriller that originally was released in 1997, and surprisingly, I never watched it back then. I don't know whether my adolescent mind was just distracted with releases at the time such as The Devil's Advocate, I Know What You Did Last Summer, Event Horizon, and one of my favourites, Wishmaster. But for some unknown reason, I never ended up watching Cube in its entirety. Maybe at the time I was a little bit put off by its low budget. However, recently adding this to my Blu-ray collection, I literally only just watched this movie for the first time in its entirety moments ago, and I was pleasantly surprised. It actually doesn't feel like a low budget film, not that low anyway. Even to this day, 20 years later, damn it, I feel old just saying that. 20 years ago when I was wandering around video shops. Anyway, 20 years ago this was released. The effects still kind of hold up to their own. They're not that horrible. I've seen much worse with B-grade movies these days. It was never difficult to watch. It was never terrible. The acting was definitely questionable at times. However, it was still convincing enough and enjoyable enough for me to enjoy and be glad that I added this to my collection. What this movie is about is 6 strangers wake up in a cube-like room. It's got 6 sides, and each of the 6 sides has a door, like a panel door that leads to another cube, exactly the same to the previous one. However, some of them contain booby traps, deadly booby traps, which are either sound activated or motion activated, really futuristic type traps that will kill you if you get caught in them. The rooms look much like what you see in the background here. This is one of the rooms that actually appear in Cube the film, and each of them come with their different sets of colors, which I don't think end up meaning anything anyway. Each room is numbered and it has like a big number, such as 572,533,565, and luckily enough for all of these people, one of them happens to be a mathematician, and another one, an autistic gentleman, actually happens to be a genius with numbers. Coincidence, or are they just the luckiest people on earth to have number geniuses with them, while obviously these rooms have huge numbers and clearly there's a pattern, and they try and figure out how exactly they can identify which rooms are safe, how to get the hell out of there, which rooms are booby-trapped, and so on. Each individual person has their own separate personality, of course, and that's definitely what draws people to this film, getting to know the characters and their backgrounds and actually why they may be in this cube situation. We have a mathematician, an autistic man who ends up being a number genius, a cop, a doctor, an architect, and expert escape artist, which you'd think works to their advantage, having an expert escape artist in this situation. However, it does not. I'll save that surprise for you all once you watch the movie. No spoilers here whatsoever. This is just a spoiler-free review. And of course, as they progress through these cubes, psychologically they're being tested, and as always, there's someone that has a psychotic breakout and tries to kill everybody one at a time as they keep progressing. And then they try and get away from this person. So they're not just battling the cube, but they're also battling each other. It does start off a little bit slow, but the movie definitely quickens pace and is definitely entertaining throughout. I never really got bored with this. Some people may protest against a slow burn type movie. I don't think it was that slow. I think it was actually paced quite well. You definitely want a little bit of a build up to the action, and actually when things get cooking instead of just jumping right into the action. You know, we've got plenty of films like that. Originality is definitely something that's key for me in a film. That's what I look for the most. You won't be disappointed. It is definitely unpredictable because nobody is safe and anybody can die at any given time, which you will see when you watch the movie. Kind of reminds me of Game of Thrones, where, you know, a main character or somebody you wouldn't expect to die so quickly actually does when you least expect it. So that's definitely something that I like, where a movie or the creators of a film that actually have the courage to kill off characters who you would never think would die off really quickly, who you would assume will be there till the very end. So I definitely highly recommend Cube to anybody that isn't put off by low budget flicks and definitely wants something psychological with a bit of gore and science fiction type elements. Cube is definitely for you if that's what you like in a film. On the Bannock Evil score of 13, I'll have to give Cube a well-deserved 10. At times it is unrealistic with the characters and their abilities in the film. The mathematician and the autistic number genius, like, come on, what are the chances? Not only one number person, but you've got 2. Whoever threw these people in the cube probably should have researched it a bit better, or maybe rubbed out those numbers that are actually on a panel to every door sword to every cube. The low budget is definitely evident, but it doesn't put you off at all. Didn't put me off at all whatsoever, so I'm not taking any points away from that. Some of the acting is definitely a little poor at times, mediocre at best, however, you can ignore it quite easily. This channel mostly specializes in Diablo 3 content, guides and stuff like that. I do play all games and also review movies and TV shows from time to time. Definitely give me a thumbs up and some comments to just let me know what content you guys want to see mostly. And as always, here at Bannock 13, subscribing is optional. However, I do encourage you to come back and visit your uncle Bannock 13 as soon as possible.